Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Sri Ram. Welcome to our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. So, in the previous episode, we tried to see the sequence in which all these things happened right from the day Sri Ramchandra left along with Viswamitra Maharshi. We saw how many activities happened in a sequence and how in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya they look at Viswamitra Maharshi as a person who has done Saranagati and how he should do Saranagati or how he should leave away everything and get closer to Lord. Well, that's what Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya says. In Smarta Sampradaya, I'm not sure if anyone has given this sort of explanation. Well, nevertheless, it doesn't matter which sampradaya, or if it is, as long as something is very good, as long as something is really going to help us, I think it's better that we take. That's why, in spite of me being into Smartha, I really took these examples from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya so that we all get to learn all the good things in the Sanatana Dharma. Okay, now let's move on. Sri Ramchandra, Lakshmana, Viswamitra, and all the Rishis have entered Mithila. And there, Viswamitra Maharshi looks for a place where they can stay. In the meantime, Janaka Maharaja, who is the ruler of that kingdom, he quickly comes, looks at Viswamitra Maharshi, and he gives him Arghya, Padya, takes him to the place where the Yajna is happening, and he says, we have been doing all the needed rituals at the right times. We have been doing homas, we have been doing yagas, and all these are happening as a part of this Mahayajna that we are doing. And in 12 days from now, all the devatas will come, they will take their Havir Bhagas, and we will be closing the Yajna. That's what Janaka Maharaja says. And then Janaka Maharaja looks at the wonderful children who are accompanying Viswamitra Maharshi and says, Hey Maharshi, Hey Bhagavan, these two kids are really wonderful. The Kshatra Tejas is clearly seen in their faces. Kshatra Tejas is the energy that a warrior radiates. They look to be extremely talented people. Oh Maharshi, who are these kids? Their eyes, they look like lotus petals. So, hey Maharshi, please let me know who these kids are, where they have come from, why did you bring them here? With you and all these people coming here, my life has become dhanya. In other ways, saying my life is moving towards fulfillment. Okay, so hey Vishwamitra Maharshi, please tell us as to who these children are and where they are coming from. Now Viswamitra Maharshi explains that Sri Ramchandra and Lakshmana are the princes of Ayodhya, and that Viswamitra Maharshi went and requested Dasharatha that these kids should be sent with him so that they can protect his Yajna. Then he tells about the killing of Tataka, and he also says how these two children have saved him from the Rakshasas and how they have come here to Mithila not just to see the Yajna, but then he says these two have come here because you have a great Dhanush with you, and these two kids are also Kshatriyas. So for a Kshatriya, looking at a new weapon, appreciating a new weapon are great things. So hence, hey Janaka Maharaja, why don't you show that great Shiva Dhanus to these kids? And then Vishwamitra Maharshi also adds that on the way to Mithila, we have gone to Gautama Maharshi's ashram. The the curse on Ahalyama has been lifted. Her sins got washed away. Her papam is gone. She has become a woman of complete punya or goodness now. And the Gautama Maharshi also has come back to the ashram. Both the wife and husband are reunited and are staying there happily. When all this is told by Vishwamitra, Janaka Maharaja, when he was coming to meet Vishwamitra, he brings a person called Shatananda. And this Shatananda is the child of Gautama Maharshi and Ahalya. So, Shatananda was extremely curious as all this was happening. As all this was being narrated, and now just, when we listen something good also, we really want to make sure, right, whatever we have heard is truth or not. So, Very quickly, Shatananda asks Vishwamitra, Hey Maharshi, hey Munipungava, for so many years, from long time, my mom was waiting for this Sri Ramachandra. So did my mom do the puja of Sri Ramachandra? And my mother, who should be worshipped by all people, did she do the puja for Sri Ramachandra? Okay, and does Sri Ramachandra know what has happened previously? And we can't explain a few things. We just say that happened because of Kala, or I mean, that's because of time. Okay, so because of time, my mom had to suffer. Did you tell all that to this Lord Sri Ramachandra? Did you meet my mother and father? Did they become one? Did Gautama, my father, did he also worship Sri Ramachandra? Aha, did he really feel happy? And did this Sri Ramachandra do the Abhivada or do the Namaskara to Gautama, who is a great Rishi, my father? Now these questions were going on and on and on. Chatananda, out of the happiness that the curse on her mom got lifted and the father and mother are reunited, he just wanted to confirm and he was asking all sorts of questions. Then Vishwamitra understood what Chatananda was trying to hint at, the confirmation that he needed. So he quickly said, Hey Maharshi, hey Munishrestha Chatananda, I got everything done. Okay, and Gautama Mahamuni and his wife Ahalya are now reunited. And then Sadananda became extremely happy. And then he said, it's my luck that you have come here. And you know what? This Viswamitra Maharshi that you are seeing, he is not a normal man. He has done great tapasya, and the amount of tapasya that he did and the amount of focus that he showed towards his goal, they are extremely commendable, and they are also lessons for all of us tapasvis. Saying this, he said, Nasi dhanyataro Rama twaktonyo bhuvikaschana gopta kusika putraste yena taptam mahattapah. Hey Rama, you are the luckiest person in this world because Kushika's son Vishwamitra is now your Rakshaka. Okay, I'll tell you his whole story. Just listen. Saying this, he just started off, and now Sri Ramchandra was extremely happy again because for a Sishya, learning or knowing Guru's story is in itself a great thing, right? And now Shatananda is starting off with Vishwamitra Charitra. So he's saying this Vishwamitra is a great man. He knows Dharma. He ruled a kingdom for a long time. He was an expert in many domains, and he always worked for the betterment of his people. His father's name is Gadhi. Gadhi is Kushinabha's son. Kushinabha is a great king. I mean, we discussed Kushinabha and his daughters Vrutanta, right? Kushinabha's father is Kusha. Kusha is Prajapati's son. So Vishwamitra, he comes from a great lineage, and he ruled the kingdom for thousands of years. And one day, with an Akshauhini Sena, he began to do Bhoop Pradikshina. So he wanted to go through the entire world. He started Bhoop Pradikshina, and he roamed across mountains, rivers, jungles, and finally he reached Vasishtha Maharshi's ashram. And that ashram was wonderful. It has wonderful trees. It had groups and groups of deers. Okay, and all devas, danavas, gandharvas, kinnaras, all of them were coming to the ashram, and they were all praying or prostrating in front of Vasishtha Maharshi. Now Vishwamitra has entered here. He looked at Vasishtha Maharshi's ashram, and he looked that people they were not having any ill thoughts, any ill feelings, and they were not even judgmental or curious on each other. All the sishyas of Vasishtha Maharshi, they were just doing their tapasya. Now Vishwamitra entered that ashram, and now Vasishtha Maharshi looked at Vishwamitra, uh, and Vishwamitra prostrated in front of Vasishtha Maharshi and asked if he was doing good. Vasishtha welcomed Vishwamitra. He asked him to take a seat, and he gave him some food. Okay, mostly the kandamulas, which are like, the things that grow beneath the ground. Some fruits were offered, and the Kushala Prashna was done. And once all this was happened, lot of time this conversation went on. And here Vasishtha Maharshi said to Vishwamitra, "Hey Raja, you have come with a large army. I want to give Atidhya, or I want to give all of you a good lunch. And since you are the king and you have come to visit our ashram, you are a pujaniya person for us, or a person who can be worshipped for us. So kindly don't refuse our request, but accept that, or you and your entire Vanakshahuni army would eat here." Now, Vishwamitra said, "O Maharshi, you have already fed me, you have already given me some fruits to eat. So, with this, I considered that you have given us Atidhya, or you have fed us. My army is very big, and I don't think your Rishyashrama, or the resources in your ashrama, in your Rishyashrama, are enough to feed all of us. Okay." Then Vasishtha Maharshi did not accept. He said, "No, you have to take food." Now Vishwamitra said, "Okay, why should I take a argument with this Maharshi?" So he accepted. Okay, now Vasishtha Maharshi had a cow called Shabala. Vasishtha Maharshi went to that cow Shabala and said, "Hey Shabala, we have got a huge number of guests here. You are from the lineage of Kamadhenu, so you can fulfill any desire should I want it. So, hey Shabala, I Vasishtha Maharshi am requesting you, kindly ensure that all these people are fed." Okay, that's it. Shabala immediately gave food to all of them. The coconut juice was given, sometimes some intoxicants were given. Okay, some huge, wonderful varieties of food were given, curd was given, and many types of solid food, many types of liquid food. All of them came there, and all the army men of Vishwamitra who ate this, they all felt happy. Vishwamitra himself felt happy. Vasishtha was happy that he was able to do Atidhi Seva that day. Okay, and now Vishwamitra went to Vasishtha Maharshi with a desire. Now, what is that desire? We'll see in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyamtu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. जय श्री राम। सर्वं सत्कृति साईनाथ स्वामी चरणारविंदार्पणमस्तु। स्वस्ति।